Hello and welcome to a Star Citizen Persistent Universe monthly report, looking at what CIG have been working on over the last few weeks and what they're focused on now in February 2024 on the road to Alpha 3.23. The various Persistent Universe teams kicked off the new year strong by making significant progress in a variety of areas, including ships, locations, AI, and UI. Let's start with ships. The RSI Zeus continued to progress through the grey box stage, with some areas moving slightly beyond that. The team are currently focused on finishing various areas, including the entrance ladder and engineering, while polishing previous areas to make them match the contemporary RSI style. The RSI Polaris is currently in grey box, with modular pieces done for the lifts, habs, corridors, and hangar. Both those ships are planned to be released later this year. A previously announced vehicle has completed its LOD 0 phase, with the team also working on paints. CIG went on to say some areas have made it through final content. An unannounced ship also progressed well, receiving an updated lighting pass to meet the current visual standards. 3 different lighting states, standardized headlights, geo updates, and glows in thrusters. It received a material refactor and other updates as well. 2 variants continued development, one through a grey box and began the LOD 0 phase, while the other completed LOD 0 and is awaiting its gate review. Gold standard work also began on the Retaliator. A major team change now. To amplify efforts, the vehicle, character, gameplay, and Arena Commander teams are no longer separate. Well, they are, but the way they sort of present the information here and the way they communicate with each of these teams is a bit more grouped together now. So gameplay features has basically been reorganized, including teams for Squadron 42 and the Persistent Universe and Arena Commander, to operate as one unified core gameplay pillar. These core gameplay teams continued porting some of the Squadron 42 features seen at CitizenCon to the Persistent Universe, which included making many features multiplayer compatible. The porting efforts and remaining code work on recoil improvements and dynamic crossheads were completed and refined to give players the best possible experience. EVA was also ported over and now has more intuitive strafing behavior and multiplayer support. For player interactions, they're currently making sure that interaction prompts, default actions, and control hints all work together to make it clear when a player interacts with something. Master modes, testing, and refinement is ongoing too, with several successful playtests and rounds of positive feedback, or at least feedback, because not all of it necessarily needs to be positive, because it will help them iterate. The things that people don't like are important too. The resource network and life support features were further developed, and the devs are scoping out the remaining work needed for feature releases and clearing important tech debt. They also continue to work on jump point gameplay, including the procedural generated tunnels and flow of entering the jump points. Support continued for server meshing and server crash recovery. Notably, there were improvements to the usable code for robustness and reliability. For Maelstrom, the dynamic destruction system of ships and some terrain, the current workload involves evaluating existing setups and generating workflows to fit the new pipeline. They've already started retrofitting existing systems, including improvements to allow ship landing gear to detach with Maelstrom debris, and simplifying the design markup for configuring item control within vehicles. They also continued on the transit system, preparing it for an upcoming refactor and ensuring the current version is suitable for server meshing and crash recovery. This involved implementing a safe recovery system for players who experienced a server crash while inside moving transit, which, if you think about it, it's quite important because it's going to be moving still, right? It might not necessarily be able to spawn you where that transit is. Engineering also continued refactoring the docking and landing systems, including a rewrite of the automatic dock-undock feature. For the former Arena Commander feature team, focus was on transitioning to the Persistent Universe and becoming more familiar with workflows and systems there. While the team's focus is now on the Persistent Universe, they will continue to maintain, improve, and provide regular content updates for Arena Commander still, albeit with a reduced velocity. That said, the team finished work on 3 special events and formed a strike team to close out the resource network experimental mode. That's basically going to be a level of engineering as an experimental mode that shall hopefully be in our hands in the not too distant future. There were 2 successful go-no-goes for Arena Commander grav races, where players race graveler vehicles across 5 tracks, and a major update to master modes, which includes a limited test of the new AI behaviors tailor-made for master modes. Atmospheric flight maps were also added across all master mode game modes. After last month's successful tests as well, the team began implementing streaming bubbles across all of Arena Commander locations for improved performance and easier map setup. Additionally, they continued to refactor several UI systems systems to building blocks, improving the overall UI. The team also worked on a wide range of features for upcoming cargo updates. This includes new cargo freight elevators, instanced hangars, personal hangar persistence, commodity trading changes, and associated commodity kiosk updates, cargo grid improvements, hover trolley support, hauling mission support, and more. UI! They worked on building blocks framework for the freight elevator UI experiences good as it can. They've been working on the resource networks. Additionally, wireframes were crafted for commodity kiosks and the user experience there, while attention was given to enhancing the overall user experience within the item shop as well. The economy team completed a balance pass on the UEC prices of various FPS weapons. I suppose that's Alpha UEC prices. They are continuing to look at the impact of structural salvage on the in-game economy. Narrative are working on various large-scale initiatives that will add more story and character content into the game, from tourist behaviors during the IAE and Fleet Week to building an appropriate civilian population. The weapons art team redesigned and changed dimensions of weapon optics. Improvements were also made to the FPS weapon wear map, while various animations were fixed for ship weapons. The character art team completed the racing flight suit and its helmet and continued working on headhunter outfits. They began exploring legendary armor concepts. Mission design continued to fix Siege of Orison for the live release, tackling many long-standing issues using new evidence. Work also continued on the Blockade Runner mission, including finishing iteration cycles and fixing bugs. The locations team, so the EU Sandbox 1 team, continued to develop the upcoming distribution centers, while Sandbox 2 worked on location markup for the new star map and high-tech and colonial cargo elevators. Progress was made toward Pyro's initial release. This involved finalizing the placement of outposts and integrating content, such as a new defend mission. Alongside this, the landing zone team continued to work on the cargo feature, including freight and ship elevators for hangars. Montreal's location team began the year closing out mandates, starting new ones, and planning for 2024. For example, they closed out the final bug fixing for additional derelict settlements and kicked off the white box for building interiors. They also aided with the distribution centers. In-game branding continued integrating various elements into the game and those new distribution centers. The development of Pyro's outposts continued too, with attention on finalizing signage to enhance visibility and communication. AI features. They began the year working on a key AI-driven initiative for Alpha 3.23. This involved a variety of improvements and new behaviors that required frequent discussions between various disciplines. AI tech added the ability for multiple NPCs to use ladders simultaneously while moving in the same direction, which completes that feature. The transit team received upgrades to make the use transit logic smoother for NPCs and more robust when handling fails, retrials, and fallbacks. For NPCs using elevators, the flow was improved to create a more efficient sequence. For example, characters won't be seen going backwards and forward anymore and will instead board the elevator directly, eliminating unnecessary waiting or interim positions. The development of generating navigation mesh on planets continued, particularly close to the poles, to support outpost locations with NPCs. To achieve this, a new tile name system for planets was implemented, which translates position locations into terrain patch IDs for more accurate navigation. For spaceship behaviors, updated pilot combat behavior was included in the new Arena Commander mode added in Alpha 3.22. More generally as well, they've been working on a 2.0 game launcher that's being tested by EVOCATI at the moment too. That's it for your Star Citizen Persistent Universe monthly report. Quite a lot of juicy information there. Interested to know what the ships they were working on, the unannounced and even announced ships and variants they were working on. They didn't really describe in much detail. We don't know what new ships are coming with Alpha 3.23 yet. It's great to see all of that Squadron 42 refinement and gameplay being ported over to the Persistent Universe as we speak. And I'm super excited for the cargo elevators, new cargo gameplay, the new distribution centers, all of that new stuff coming in 3.23. But what do you think? Are you excited by anything in particular there? Are you disappointed by something or don't like the way they're implementing a feature? They've roughly said that Alpha 3.23 is going to be released in April now. So are you excited by that? Did you think it was going to be later? Did you hope it was actually going to make it by the end of March? Whatever your thoughts or questions, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. People always ask me, what's your favorite ship? And I always answer, it's NordVPN. With its powerful loadout, it wrecks pros and noobs alike. I can cruise around the verse with the added security that online threats aren't as much of a big deal. It also deals with intrusive ads like this one and gives you a greater accessibility to content you may want to watch on other platforms. I can watch Japanese Netflix. Is that even a thing? Maybe. You can find out with NordVPN. It is worth mentioning that CIG and Star Citizen don't actually produce a NordVPN ship yet, but NordVPN is available separately from the links below, and clicking those does help me buy spaceships, so it's basically the same thing, right? Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Get Nord, give ships. I don't know. That's an amazing promo. Every month, we give away a ship for Star Citizen. For February 2024, we're giving away a Drake Corsair Explorer with lifetime insurance and a game package. Everything you need to play and explore Star Citizen in style. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during this month. It is as easy as that. More details in the comments below. A massive thank you to everyone that goes the extra mile in supporting the channel. It is with your support we are able to make daily Star Citizen videos. If you want to be one of those lovely people, then please check out the join button under my videos. That will help you become a channel member. There's Patreon, there's direct donations. All the links for all of that are down below. But there are loads of non-monetary ways you can help support us. Commenting, sharing, liking, all of that sort of stuff goes a huge way in helping the channel grow. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and you have a great day.